With the induction of INS Vikrant, the discussion around the construction of third aircraft carrier has gained the momentum. However, the one key aspect that probably not being discussed much is should third aircraft carrier be nuclear powered? Does India have the technology to develop the nuclear propulsion required for an aircraft carrier? And the most important is can India afford it? To answer the queries related to the indigenous nuclear powered aircraft carrier, we will touch upon three important aspects of it. First one is technical feasibility, second one will be the cost, and the third one will be its relevance. Talking about technology, if India wants to build a nuclear powered aircraft carrier, it will have to build a miniature power plant that can generate the power between 350 megawatts to 550 megawatts depending on the displacement of the vessel. To build a Catabar equipped supercarrier, one has to develop a nuclear reactor which produces at least 300 to 350 megawatt of power to meet the power requirements of the ship, its catapult, its weapon system, environment system, etc. BARC has developed 83 megawatt pressurized light water reactor PWR fueled with enriched uranium which powers INS Arihant class submarines. BARC has also developed nuclear reactor that generates 190 megawatts power. If BARC starts development of 350 to 550 megawatts, it will take 50 to 20 years to operationalize the technology. Apart from miniaturizing the reactor, one challenge for BARC will be to make it impervious to the marine conditions. Now, let's listen to what BARC scientists have to say about it. Back in August 2009, Dr. Anil Kakodkar, the then chairman of Atomic Energy Commission, had said, yes, we have the capability and technical expertise to build nuclear powered aircraft carriers and warships of global standards. When the government asks us to build such ships, we will do it. As per one of the scientists with specialization in nuclear chemistry, India has the capability and expertise to build nuclear powered aircraft carrier. It is for the country's top bosses to decide when to launch the mission. In summary, technically it is feasible and our scientists are confident about it. However, it will take 15 to 20 years to build it. That is, if you start from 2022, it will be ready by 2037 or 2042. Now let's talk about the cost, which determines all the priorities. In the process of acquiring Vikramaditya from Russia, the original price rose from $974 million to $2.35 billion. When fitted with 45 MiG-29K aircraft and additional modifications, the overall price went up to $7 billion. The third proposed carrier, Vishal, still in conceptual stage, is expected to cost $6 to $8 billion and take 10 to 14 years to build. Including an aerial component of F-18E or Rafale aircraft at current prices, the total cost is likely to be in order of $16 to $17 billion. According to Navy's DGND, a Catabar equipped supercarrier displacing 65 to 70,000 tons will cost India upwards of $10 billion excluding the air wing. If you want to build a nuclear powered aircraft carrier, the total cost will be above $20 billion. However, this is not it. You need to form a carrier strike group consisting of frigates, destroyers, corvettes and submarines to protect it. This would cost another $10 billion anyways, and the complete nuclear powered carrier group will cost $30 billion. Then remains the running cost. Now that we know the cost of the beast, let's talk about its relevance. The nuclear powered aircraft carriers are built for long-term offensive operations. For example, US Navy uses it for carrying out operations in South China Sea and in the regions beyond its maritime zone for power projection. However, India needs to protect only Indian Ocean region and does not need to project its power or aggression beyond that. Therefore, a third aircraft carrier powered by diesel-electric propulsion will do the job. As we are all very much aware of budgetary constraints of defense, India should focus on strengthening the land defenses against China and Pakistan. Hence, its priority is Army, followed by the Air Force. The Army has an urgent requirement for its long-pending infantry weapons, artillery, and strike corps modernization requirements. The Indian Air Force squadron strength is down to 32, well below its minimum operational strength of 42 squadrons. In this view, the Navy should focus on submarines and smaller surface ships, principally in a defensive role. The new disruptive concepts and technologies are likely to emerge to challenge the economic and operational viability of aircraft carriers. World needs now more agile and faster ships, submarines, a spectrum of unmanned vehicle technologies, be it aerial, surface, underwater, or autonomous, dominate the maritime operational strategies with new dimensions of cost effectiveness for better reach, flexibility, and application of force. The aircraft carrier is a prized trophy for the adversary and prime target in advent of war. Bringing down an aircraft carrier inflicts heavily on the morale of Navy. Its protection, therefore, is a huge liability as well. With India joining Quad and its rising stature, its geopolitical interests, and its role as a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region, it's necessary to have a strong navy with significant reach and power projection capabilities. With China's plan to operate 6 carrier strike group by 2035, the third carrier therefore assumes great importance for India's maritime strategy. However, it need not to be nuclear powered to save some billions for other necessary weapons. This was today's update. Please let us know what is your views about these in comment section. Feel free to post your comments and suggestions about any topic related to defense sector on which you want to hear from us. With this, I would like to say goodbye and Jai Hind friends. Please like and subscribe our video if you have not done already. We will be soon back with more interesting and amazing development happening in defense sector.